Hey, how's it going? All right, I made a video about a year ago. It's a little over a year ago, and this is the video I just made the clip from. So I wanted to talk about this because I'd been talking about Crump in the past and how I believe personally that, he stepped outside of the law. So let me explain.
Well, the Martin family attorney, Benjamin Crump, says that this video blows George Zimmerman's self-defense claim out of the water. Take a look at it again. The Martin family attorney, Benjamin Crump, told me this video is significant because keep in mind the volunteer neighborhood watch captain claims 17-year-old Trayvon Martin punched him in the nose, knocked him on the ground, slammed his head into the concrete. Crump says the initial police report stated that Zimmerman was bleeding from the back of the head and nose. I spoke to Crump moments ago. Video comes out. What's your reaction?
It is clear now. We have heard with our ears the 911 tapes. Now tonight, America sees with our eyes the video, and we know that that police report is a fabrication. We don't understand why the powers that be in the Sanford Police Department and the state attorney's office have conspired to try to sweep the murder of Trayvon Martin under the rug.
Is there a cover-up?
So he is the lawyer for the family, and immediately after the shooting, he and the family were apprised of all of the information that the police had gathered concerning this case. So when you look at the totality of what he was shown before he made this statement and the statement itself, it's quite clear that he was making a false statement in public concerning an ongoing case, which is uh, definitely something that the bar would be able to do about it. The Florida bar has certain rules, and one of the rules state that lawyers are not to comment on ongoing cases about specific facts of the case. That would be like whether or not there was blood on George's head, especially when it's not true or it can't be proven. So he was saying there was no blood based on the video that we were just looking at there, where he's getting out of the police car, that fuzzy video. And we know that he saw the picture of George's head, the one that we all saw in the trial with the blood streaming down the back of his head. He saw that. He got access to all the evidence that the police saw. That's the police made their decision not to file charges or to arrest George based on those pictures and the information that they gathered during the investigation. They shared that information with the family and Mr. Crump.
Absolutely. See, we know this here, that there absolutely was some misleading the public when they said his nose was broke and there was blood on the back of his head. There's no blood on his clothes.
They didn't say there was blood on his clothes. They said that there was blood on the back of his head and his nose was broken, which was backed up by the doctor and by uh, the EMTs that came out that night and checked him out. So, he had this information. Is he responsible for lying? Well, it's not under oath, but it was a public statement. So when you make a public statement, it's available for further consideration, and this will be considered further.
Now, the grand jury will hear the case on April 10th. Meanwhile, the Martin family is asking the public to remain calm. Live here on Capitol Hill.
So, this has been going on for a year. Everybody's been acting like, the Martin family is so good because they're controlling the black community, keeping them from attacking and going crazy. I mean, come on, guys, get real. This is just the media. It's hype. They're playing their games, and certain people are being played like a fiddle. The whole idea was it was all about stand your ground. They were looking for a case to grab onto so that they could bring down stand your ground laws or slow them down. What happened is they picked this case because George Zimmerman is a white man's name, and he was listed as a white man in the police report based on what the police report said. It was a white guy and a black guy. This is the case they had been looking for. A young kid getting shot by an overzealous uh, wannabe cop. This is perfect. So they made the narrative, although the narrative didn't match completely, they just forced it to fit. So, like you've heard quite a few of these legal experts on TV say, they're trying to force a square peg into a round hole. And it didn't work. I mean, it did for over a year and a half. And if you watch certain channels like MSNBC, Melissa Harris Perry, Lean Forward program that she has, they still go on about how this case was lost, not on the merits, but by due to racism, because we had mostly white women on the jury and other reasons, but absolutely not because George was innocent. So, I'm assuming that George is going to go ahead and file a lawsuit against MSNBC. I certainly would, and I have enough evidence to show that. But this is another example. Channel 4 here. It's a NBC channel. You can see by the little emblem on his microphone that NBC is being sued. And throughout the trial and before the trial ever began, these local channels and all the big national channels were attacking George in a terrible way. And now it's time to pay the fiddler. They may have gained some ratings, so all that money that they gained from those ratings, they can give it to George. So it was really good watching, going back and looking at these things because, over the year you forget about it. You're just like, man, I made that video so long ago. So I just thought, let me scroll all the way back and see what's back there. And this was done, I made this on July 12th, 2012. So I just wanted to point it out, and I'll be going back and looking at some of this stuff. I know that the media is in big trouble, and there's several of them, so I'm going to be going out and finding those and pointing them out. Good talking to you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.